everyone, it's Joanne from JEMD Creations. Thank you so much for attending my live video last week. Hopefully it is one of many to come. I'm so excited, but thank you so much for attending or replaying and watching my video afterwards. Thank you so much for sharing my content. Thank you so much for the purchases that have come through. I really appreciate every single one. If you are interested, there are still items available, so the body scrubs, the wristlets, the bandanas and bow ties, as well as the 2 Halloween wreaths, the Give Thanks wreath, and 2 of the signs. If you're interested, please check out the Facebook group, as those items will be going on Etsy this weekend. So the group is www.facebook.com/groups/JEMD Creations. This video is also going to be in YouTube, so you can search for me under JEMD Creations. I will be there. This video is really a thank you video for everything that has happened thus far, and I kind of wanted to treat you to my thought process. So I'm going to be designing home decor in this video, and I'll show you how I put together some colors and how my brain really works. If you're interested in items like this one is already sold, but I do have more coming up. They will be in the live, so keep an eye out for that. Excuse me. So they will be coming up, but thanks again. I hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions, let me know, or comments down below. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can comment, like, subscribe, any of that stuff would be great. So I hope you enjoy the video. Bye. Hey everyone, this is Joanne coming to you from JEMD Creations. I wanted to show you how I put together some home decor, or my thought process behind it. It's something that anybody could do. You just pick out colors you really love and you pair them together in a container that you really love. So today I'm going to be putting everything in this ceramic pot. It's really pretty. It has like almost freckling in it, and then on top of it, it has this texture on the bottom which feels almost like a concrete, but the pot is so beautiful that I wanted to decorate it for fall. And what I love about this is that you need something to stick your florals in. Well, I should say you don't need to. You could certainly put florals in here without any foam block or floral block, but it would definitely stick better if you had something in there. So I don't know about you guys, but I've been buying a lot of stuff this summer. We've had a lot of orders come into the house, and styrofoam's not something that you can recycle, so I have a couple of pieces in the basement left over for some big items that were shipped to us, and so I just cut it up and I stuck it inside. So this doesn't cost you anything. Excuse Fred from barking. There's someone outside, another dog outside barking, and now Fred's barking. But so this doesn't cost you anything extra if you have styrofoam lying around. I just use a handsaw and I cut it. I'm sure there are easier ways to do it. It's very messy, but it saves me money, so I don't worry about having to buy something else. The colors we're going for today, we have this really pretty yellow accent that I'm going to put in there. We also have this really beautiful like purple flower. This reminds me of a butterfly bush, but it's more muted. It's not so bright, you know, perfect for fall. We're also going to be putting in, I think, we'll see as we go, but those two are definite. But I'm liking these berries. They're very warm. They're natural wood texture, so there's like a light cream, a medium, and then a dark, and then it has some green in there. I also have really pretty greens. Greens will just really make this come alive. These are some interesting leaves, so I saved this from another floral that I had, and now I can use them in this project. I also have this really cool pumpkin that I'm really looking forward to using. It's almost like a straw or like a raffia that's been bound and made into a pumpkin shape. It's gorgeous. I love this. We also have the option, and I'm not sure which one I want to use yet until we get closer, but I have these 2 florals. So one is more of like off-white with like, there's hints of like a brown or a red in there, and this one's more like a burnt color. So these were both really pretty. I think it'll depend as we go. And then I also have my glue pot next to me, which is just basically a pot that I put glue in, it heats it up, and I can use it more readily. So what I'll end up doing is I'll take, you know, say a pick, I'll dip it in the glue pot, and then I'll stick it in here to make sure that it really is in there secure. You don't have to do that. That is certainly an extra step that I like to do for a more permanent decor. Okay, so let's get started. So I think the first important thing is finding a place for these beautiful purple flowers. So basically you get a big bush like this, you take your wire cutters, you cut everything off, and then I keep it long because I like to go back and shorten it if I need to, versus if I cut everything short now and I go back later, it's really hard if you cut it too short. So I'm just going to start placing some items in here so I can get an idea of what I want it to look like before I actually stick it in the block. So that's beautiful. Let's see, we have some greens. And I have these really pretty, like, I got these from the dollar store specifically. I don't typically buy a lot of things there, but I thought these were really pretty. So they're like a off-white, yellow, really light orangey red leaf, and it has some berries. So I think those will look really cool in there, but I want to play around first with what it looks like and then decide. Let's see here. What's nice about a lot of the picks that I pick up, if you don't know, these are called picks. Anything where it has a stem on it that you put it into like a wreath or a pot or something. But what's nice about picks is that they all have separate parts that you can pull off. So I can take literally just this one stem, or I could leave it as a whole branch. It's really customizable for whatever you want. I like to pull them off and make them a little more separate because I think that way it gives it more personality. You kind of get to spread your product throughout your pot instead of just placing all of them in one spot. And for instance, I have 2 of these, so I don't think I need more than that. But if I were to stick this all in one section, then I would only have 1 more to go, and that might not be enough for what I need. So I like the way that this looks so far. So this is telling me that we're in a good pattern. I want to see what it looks like with these big florals. And just to give myself an idea, I'll cut one off of each bush here. So if I can coordinate myself. So I'm going to take one of the stems, I'm just going to clip it towards the bottom. And then I can put the rest back in the pot here. Great. And I'm just checking my camera angle to make sure that I'm not missing out on anything. Don't want you to miss out. Okay, so here's my existing color scheme. I can either add this or I can add this. And I really like this color, this off-white color, not necessarily this burnt color, because I feel like it gives it more personality. I really want this to be very calming, very subtle, very beautiful, not very bright and bold or in your face. So I think this adds the right amount of color that we need for our design. So I'm just going to go back now. Don't want anything to get lost, so I'm just readjusting. Yeah, that's gonna look great. So I think we're ready to start gluing and sticking in, but this is too long for me. I'm gonna cut it just a little bit. See how that looks. Alright, so I think that's a better height. So I'm gonna dip my stem, my pick, in the glue, and then I'm just going to put it in the styrofoam. please ignore Fred. He's been barking nonstop all day. He's driving me a little crazy. I mean, I love him, but he drives me crazy. So we have that one. Now we're going to go through this, and I think that will be the right height, so we don't need to cut this because I can stick that far down into the styrofoam. The heat from the glue also helps the styrofoam. It helps it to kind of melt a little bit. And because everything is wired in these picks, you can bend things to your liking. So I just bent mine a little bit this way so that it wasn't sticking straight up and they didn't cluster in together. Okay. Now I think we're going to add this in. I'm going to cut this one rather short. So maybe here, like right in the middle. I don't need this to go all the way down into my styrofoam. Sorry, I'm having a glue issue over here, bear with me. Holy cannoli, what is happening here? That was weird. Okay. So I'm gonna stick this about the same spot. Now there are machines that you can buy that put an actual like pointy a pointy part at the end of your pick, which makes it go into, you know, the styrofoam or whatever design you are making, like a wreath. Makes it go in very easily, but they're rather expensive, and I have spent enough money. I need to not spend more at this point. Let's see. Okay. So it's coming along nicely. Let's add in some greenery. And I'm just adding a little bit of glue right here on the stem, because there's no point at the top of it where it can actually, it would stop from moving forward. If I add a little glue, that'll prevent it from coming apart in the design, and that will give it some stability. So I'm also going to cut this pretty short. And we'll add in one of these leaves and berries. I think it just gives it kind of a mixture between this nice yellow and this nice white. It gives it something different and interesting with the berries, so we're going to do that. But I am going to trim this as well. Trim, trim, trim. Normally I don't have this much of an issue with my glue pot. It's I don't know what's happening, but it's almost like I got something in there that's not supposed to be in there. So instead of like me just coming out with smooth glue, it's just coming out really stringy. Anyway, so this is our first little bundle, and I think it looks so beautiful so far. So we're just going to keep building basically the same idea of a bundle until this is full. We're probably not going to use all of the stuff I have around me, but it's here in case we need it. I'd rather have too much than not enough, and then that way I don't run out, because sometimes I'm working on a design and I've pulled, I think, what I need for it, and then I find out I was wrong, and then I have to go out and try and find it, and if I can't, and if I can't find it, then I have to kind of rethink my idea or move some things around, and if I've already adhered everything into the design, it's a little more tough. The glue I use is quite strong. But with these, don't be afraid to put things in at an angle. Don't be afraid to try stuff. Like, this is your design. You want it to be exactly what you want for your home. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? We didn't put any of our berries in. Let me see here. We may not actually need these. Let's put these in last. So because we have these, there might be too many. So let's keep going. And we'll see at the end. I always like to kind of put everything together and then go back and check and see if I need to add more. So again, we're cutting this short. We're going to stick this towards the back over here because that is so far forward in the front. Okay. Let's do some more leaves. I might have a couple of moments of silence in here, so while I'm doing that, why don't you guys tell me what your favorite season is? Do you like to decorate? I love all the seasons to an extent, so I go back and forth every year. I don't really know, I guess. So like this year, my favorite season is summer. I really don't want it to go away. I do much better health-wise in the summer, so I'm pretty sure I'm living in the wrong place. But it's really hard because my job is here and my husband's here and our family, well, really his family is here. I have family that's scattered except for my mom, she's here. But it's really hard to leave behind people, I think, is what it really is. So tell me your favorite season and if you love to decorate. I was telling one of my friends the other day that I am not a huge decorator, so I like to design and make things, but I'm not necessarily into decorating. When we moved into our house, it took me 3 years to put anything on the walls. I was really convinced that we were going to sell our house anyway and move into something bigger, but that didn't happen. We're still here and I love our house. It's a great house. It's just a little small for us. I mean, granted, we're only 2 people and we have 2 dogs and a cat, so there's really 5 living beings in this home, but it works for the most part. And we have neighbors. We're in the city, so Fred barks at everybody and everything. I'm sure some of you have dogs like that. Just really trying to get this one further down. The glue is cooling as I go, so it gives me a little bit of resistance. Okay. So this is looking phenomenal. Not phenomenal, but phenomenal. Okay. I think we're gonna do some more in the back. So let's switch gears because this is really empty. I don't want to see any empty space. When we're done with this, I really want it to be full. And we also need to figure out where this pumpkin goes, which I'm pretty sure is gonna be in the front. Almost like this. Kind of leaning out a little bit to give it more dimension. So we're going to do the pumpkin in the front. So if we go to the back, let's do some more yellow. Freddie! Alright, so we're going to cut this. So I'm really excited we're going into fall. I mean, I feel like the cooler temperatures will be nice, but I really am partial to summer. I love that I can wear sandals, flip-flops, shorts, tank tops, and not worry about being cold. I get cold really easily. And that one's not going to work for us. I get cold really easily and I just really want to be comfortable. So this one wouldn't go down far enough. The glue kind of made it, it started to dry and it got stuck. So we're going to cut this one shorter and try again. Yeah, so I think summer is really my favorite because I'd rather be hot and then I can cool down with air conditioning or by drinking something cold. But when it's cold, and I get cold, like I said, really easily. So when I get cold, there is like nothing I can really do to warm up except go into a very warm place. And that makes it really tough living in New England because it's very cold here. Love these purples. They're so pretty. So I'm going to cut this short. Go in with our glue pot. You'll also have to let me know if you like that I'm doing DIYs, or if you prefer just to see items for sale. Not even DIYs, how I put my items together. Okay. So now I think we're due for another one of these really pretty flowers. I'm going to cut this one shorter because I know I need something short for over here. I'm also going to pull out the leaves because I think we don't need them over here because I'm going to add those other really pretty leaves. So if I add this kind of further down, maybe not. I think here. Let's add some more leaves. So really you can make this whatever you want. You design it to your liking. I try to design someone in mind every time I make something because it might even be me, but I can't design just for me all the time because my taste is very different than everyone else's. I trip over my words a lot. You'll notice that the more live videos we do. I like to think my brain's moving faster than my mouth, but who knows? Who knows? Okay, so that looks great. Let's throw another leaf back here. With berries. That's gonna look great. Just push it in. Okay. So I think this is coming together so beautiful. What I also want to add to our design is some of these. So this is dried flower, or dried, I'm not sure what it is exactly, but I bought it dried. And if you ask me where I buy my items, I mostly buy from, sorry, measuring here. I mostly buy from Michael's, Joann's, sometimes Hobby Lobby. I also visit an online site called Craft Outlet. I've been checking out Trendy Tree, to see if their items might be something I'm interested in moving forward. So I try to shop all over, and a lot of my items are from like whatever's left over from last season. So I buy a lot of items to have on hand. It's really hard as someone who does a lot of seasonal work to make sure that you're fully stocked year round, or even after, you know, the sale. I don't know about you guys, but if I go into a store in like November, the fall stuff's gone and Christmas stuff is the only thing that really remains. So even though fall, I consider fall to go through November, it's really hard to find some things sometimes. So I try to buy a lot ahead of time, and I might hold on to it until next year when that item's not available, and that way there's some variation in my designs. Love those. They're so pretty. It just gives it a little something extra. Doesn't have to be a lot. The nice thing about ceramic is if you get a little glue on it, you literally can just peel it off. Stick it back in my glue pot. And then there's that. Alright, so let's take a look and see. Because I think the back looks really beautifully full. Berries, no berries. I'm gonna say no berries. I don't want to overwhelm the design. I think there's a lot going on as it is. But this side over here definitely needs something filled in there. And then also on this side. So let me see. And I think part of the problem is that these flowers, though beautiful, are very large. So I'm actually going to take this top piece off. It's just a stem that holds the two pieces together. I'm going to grab maybe another stem that I had laying around. It doesn't fit perfectly, it's a little small. Let me see if I have a different one. I keep all of these until the end. I use them to kind of like stir my glue. Or even this situation. Hey Freddie. Freddie just came in. He doesn't understand why I'm not hanging out with him and snuggling. But I wanted to do this, so show you all. So I just put some glue on this stick that doesn't technically belong to this flower, and I put it in the bottom, and now we have something that's a lot smaller that will fit perfectly in this section. So again, I'm just going to stick the bottom in some glue, and we're going to push this into our styrofoam. Oop. Sometimes that happens, sometimes the flowers come off. That's okay. I know where this one goes, so I can stick this one back on. Okay. So there's that, and I think what it needs right here is some berries. So let me see if I have another one of those. Position. Oh, and by the way, these videos now go on YouTube as well as Facebook. I have a friend who likes to see what I'm doing but does not have Facebook anymore, and so I thought this would be the easiest thing to share with her. Hey Crystal, if you're out there watching. And that way I can post to multiple platforms at once and share. I know I love YouTube. It's one of my favorite places to learn things. One of my favorite domains. We've learned so much. So much from YouTube. It's such a service that I'm so grateful for. Okay. So now I think this side looks more full. That looks good. So we're going to go back to this side, because that's where it was not full. And we still have the bottom piece, so if it scrunches up, it's a little smaller, which will be perfect for this space. So I'm just going to trim it a little bit, and then this will go in right on the side. It won't be that full once I get it in there, but gives us an idea of what it will look like. Oh, Freddie. Okay. So we're just gonna push this in here. So I think if you ended up being the person that bought this, you would not be able to pull these florals out if you wanted to reuse them. You'd have to literally take out the styrofoam and cut them. So this is kind of a forever design if you want it. Okay. So here we are at the front. I think we might do a little bit more yellow. Kind of have it sprouting up from the bottom, so we'll make this nice and short. These move, so I'm just going to push these up a little bit. We're going to dip it in our glue pot. Stick it in. So if you're watching me on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe if you're interested in what I'm doing, if you want to see more stuff, leave me a comment. This is all very new for me, so I would love to hear your feedback. towards the top. I was trying to stick this in the side, thinking it would give me more volume and texture, but I don't like what it's doing. It's kind of moving the styrofoam up. So in the beginning of this, you could certainly adhere your styrofoam to the bottom of the ceramic pot or whatever you're designing. That's always a possibility. So that way it doesn't move around. But I don't mind. It gives me a little more flexibility when I'm designing. And then always I can take this out at the end and put a glue dot on the bottom and adhere it. It's not a big deal. So it just comes right out. Now this will go in the front here and kind of tilting out. So this will end up going like this. I feel like we need some more purple in here. I feel like this is all you really see from this angle and we kind of miss out on it. So let's put another piece of purple and see how that looks. I mean, I want this to be full. I don't want there to be like, there's a gap here right now. I don't want that. Purple. See if it looks good there, or maybe over here. Or maybe both. You think purple? Lots of purple. I feel like we can't go wrong with purple. I'm really interested in this purple-orange combination this year. They are complementary colors on the color wheel, so that's not too surprising, but I think they're really popular this year. Having that issue again with my glue. See how it's kind of like stringy? I must have got something else in here, like a E6000, which is a industrial strength glue, which I use on a lot of my designs, so they do not come apart. I think I like it with extra purple. I'm a purple girl. I like lots of color anyway, and I think it adds the right tone to this design, the right feel. Okay, so we'll add this one right here. That looks beautiful. Like, so beautiful. It's coming out so nicely. And then the pumpkin will go right here, so I think that's perfect. So let me see if I can get this in here. In the one little spot that's left. So now we have a couple of these left, so I want to put them in our design. I have glue all over my fingers. If you know me, I'm klutzy, I'm messy. My workshop is always packed to the gills. Okay, so let's stick this one maybe right here. I like that it adds just a little touch of something, just a little hint of it. And see how this one's really long? We are going to snip this and make two out of it. I think this one might actually be a little too much, so I'm gonna clip it low, give it some dimension. I like these height differences that we've got going on. I think that's good. You just check it from all sides. So I feel like here it looks very narrow, which is okay because really my idea is this pumpkin is the front. But I do think that we need to put a little more in here and also maybe a little more greenery. Another nice touch we could do is we could put a bow in here. I don't know if it's necessary in this design. I have another design in mind where I think a bow would make it just come alive. But I don't know that we need it here. Okay, same with this, it's very loose. I'm just gonna pull it out, give it a little tiny dab of glue, stick it back through, give it a minute to cool down. I wonder if I'm gonna put this here, maybe over here on this side. Looking at it from the side, that'd be too much. We can always take off one of these little leaves. This design is really you. You do whatever you want with your creations. Like, I love this with the 2 leaves instead of the 3. I thought the 3 was too much. But even if we put this upside down when we put it in, that's perfect. So don't be afraid, just really push it in there. That looks good. I think we're missing some greenery in the front, so we'll pull some for that. There's another one where it's just really long on the top. There probably used to be a flower here. So I'm just gonna pull it out, give it a little dab of glue. Stick it back through, give it a minute to cool down. I think it's gonna look really good here. And I know it initially seems like a lot when you put these together. Like, oh, there's so many flowers and there's so many colors and there's so many textures, but I really think that they all come together in the end. Less isn't always more, and especially when you're designing something that would say be a centerpiece or a focal point, you want it to look great. Sometimes more is more on these. So I'm going to keep adding. I'll post a picture in my group when it's all done, and you can check it out there. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, let me know, and definitely check out my group. So it's www.facebook.com/groups/gemcreations. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.